In this video I will apply Gordon Cullen's ideas of how we as pedestrians perceive, understand and react to the built environment called Townscape. This includes both how the built environment creates a sense of place and how we, as Cullen says, appreciate a town as a series of unfolding pictures called serial vision. My walk will start at Park Road and end at Bond Square via the Third Heaven, Radcliffe Square and High Street. We can clearly see where the dense city center begins due to the disappearing of the setbacks, which makes the streets more narrow. When we just enter the dense environment, we can see the grand vista of Clarendon building. The angle of the building and its detachedness from the other building says that this is an important building. Turning left to Holloway Street, we can see how the street bends and creates a feeling of anticipation. We want to see what's going on beyond what we know, the mystery of the unknown. Walking down Holloway Street, we can see how the pavement material suddenly changes, showing that there is something else going on down the small alley. The change slows down the visual pace and reinforces the qualities of what we otherwise could have overlooked. The sign tells us that it's okay to walk down the alley, and the floorscape shows us the direction by the line in the pavement. When we go further, we can see the distinction between public and private space due to the fence. Another sign tells us that we can continue our walk through the narrow opening in the building to the left. The opening creates a sense of here-ness and there-ness, and together with a glimpse of the other side, a feeling of anticipation arises. The space on the other side opens and gives us a surprise. A sense of place can be felt because of the enclosure of the space, which in turn occurred due to the height and width rate and the continuing walls around the place. The alley twists and turns to finally open out onto the largest space by New College Lane. We came out very close to the bridge between the two buildings at New College Lane, and we might want to take some step back to admire the creation. At the same time, the bridge limits the view and forces us to come close and pass it to have a full view of what we earlier just could see a glimpse of. During my walk towards Radcliffe Square, I passed the Bodleian Library where I get this mysterious view of the court and the statue. The view makes me want to investigate further. The Bodleian Library encloses the court and the arches gives us a clue of what's on the outside. Walking through the narrow arch, the grand vista of Radcliffe Camera reveals in the defined open space. The set of the square with the building in the middle and the surrounding space expresses the importance of the building. The building is fenced, which clearly shows the border between public and private space. By walking around Radcliffe Camera, another remarkable building occurs. The church tower of St. Mary the Virgin. The tower gives a contrast to the surrounding buildings and the roofscapes. To exit the square to High Street, I had to pass a narrow alley, which creates an inevitable nearness of details, a contrast to the openness at the square. I will here turn right, moving towards Carfax Tower. The change of buildings' heights, materials, roofscapes, etc. create a diverse and dramatic environment with a lot of details that holds the eyes. Here and there trees gives a contrast to the buildings. The Carfax Tower works as a landmark, pointing out the most central part of the city. In the front of the city, the floorscape shows the different usage of the spaces. One space for traffic, one for pedestrians and one combined for both pedestrians and traffic. The combined usage of the street is emphasized by the lack of vertical distinctions. I've reached Bond Square, my final destination. I will here sit down under the trees, which forms a small intimate space as a part of the larger space, and reflect my findings about Townscape. What the serial vision of Townscape can show us is that the whole is greater than the sum of each building, but only if the buildings are put together in the right way, so feature as in Cullen's concepts occur. Along my walk there were several spaces that created a sense of place. Those places are important to give the city its character and room to breathe.